Good morning, everyone, and welcome from Leduc Weddings. I'm your host, Armando Leduc.
And I am Shauna Rappold Leduc, and you are watching The Wedding Minute, the show where you can get all of your inside tips from the top wedding professionals.
Today we're here with John Michael from Superior Seafood, a fantastic restaurant uptown right there on St. Charles and Napoleon. It's actually where we had our rehearsal dinner, and this show is all about rehearsal dinners and
Post-wedding brunches, mimosas.
Thank you for being on our show, John Michael.
Yes, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. I thank y'all for inviting me.
What made you want to get into the wedding business?
Well, when my wife and I got married, we were planning to open the restaurant as well. Imagine combining both of these two activities.
I can't.
We found that it was very hard to get the information we needed in a very timely manner, and to get the accurate information, and for people to be very upfront with what they were giving you or offering to you. And so we vowed that we had great space. We were on St. Charles Avenue. We had a beautiful view of the streetcar. We had a room that could be sectioned off to fit large gatherings. We said, you know what? We can do this better than other people do. So we decided to get into the wedding business pretty much as soon as we opened the doors.
Let me tell you, we had our rehearsal dinner there, and it was flawless.
So talk to us a little bit about this post-Sunday brunch.
In order to send everybody off, especially if it's a destination wedding, say, people want to regather before everyone takes off to go to whatever city they came from,
Right.
or whatever destination they had come from previously. And the easiest way to do that is to do a nice kind of casual buffet style mimosas and Bloody Mary bar brunch. And we offer a great meeting point in Uptown that's very easy to get to. Free valet, the space is right, and we're able to provide that atmosphere that's very casual and stress-free,
Right.
so everyone can kind of wrap the weekend up.
Talk to us a little bit about the pricing.
We offer the best pricing based on the space that you can find. We don't do room fees. We just ask that you spend what would make sense for our business.
Sure.
You know, because we're going to lock off an area, so we're very aggressive with the pricing in the favor of the guest. We just want to make sure that we can basically build a nice venue and build the event that you want in the space that we have and keep it cost effective for everybody so that we actually do pretty well with it and that you don't feel overcommitted in what you're doing.
How much was like the most that's ever been spent?
Upwards of 5 figures. So we've had, close to $10,000 rehearsal dinners. Yeah.
Wow.
How many people are at that dinner?
There was about 65 people.
That's a
but
good size rehearsal dinner.
They did. They had a sit-down dinner to start, and they did everything. The filet on the menu, the bacon-wrapped shrimp, the chargrilled oysters, just all the great highlighted menu items that we have. They did that full open bar, and then they had a kind of a cocktail party for all the people who were in town, part of the wedding, that weren't invited necessarily to the dinner.
Wow.
So they had a very large gathering from out of town. It was an out of town. So they wanted everyone to be able to congregate around where the rehearsal dinner was.
That's great.
So we basically flipped the room as they were finishing dinner. We flipped the room and then turned it into a cocktail space where another 100 people showed up and ordered cocktails. And we had desserts,
That's awesome.
Petit fours and all that thrown out for them. So
And I
it was
tell
nice.
you what, like, these guys have this down to a science. Like, I guarantee you that none of the guests realized they were even flipping the room. Definitely recommend you having a rehearsal dinner there. Or post Sunday brunch.
Yes, so talk to us about that.
They're really starting to catch
Right.
on. It is the least stressful activity of a whole wedding. You think about weddings and everything that leads up to it.
Whew.
The next day,
Oh,
the
man.
stress is gone.
Whew.
Everyone
remember
can
that.
kind of sit back and relax.
How many weddings do you say you guys do a year?
We do upwards of 50 a year. Right now, we have over 50 scheduled, and we expect to book some more later in the year.
That's
as it comes.
amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you think of any of the funniest moments that maybe you witnessed?
Yes, absolutely. This was not a PG moment
Okay.
by any means.
Not PG.
We had a group, and we have capability of doing audiovisual. So if you want to have a slideshow or music playing
I don't
on
even know where this is going.
on TV, you can do that. And most of the times, the bride or groom will pass that on to a bridesmaid or a groomsman.
Yes.
Well, this one particular groomsman kind of showed up. He seemed disheveled. He was kind of all over the place. And we had it set up, so all he had to do was plug in and pull up the video. Well, usually I recommend, and especially after this incident, I recommend you pull up the video and then we plug in.
Oh, gosh.
So as soon as he opened his computer, he plugged right in. It opens up, and there was a picture of something that you wouldn't want your children seeing. So a nice young lady was pictured on the screen, She wasn't wearing everything or anything.
And I'm assuming it was not the bride.
It was not the bride. It was just this guy's computer, the
Right.
groomsman's
Whoa.
computer, and whatever lady friend he
Right.
Oh man.
had been entertaining
That's good.
previously. So
It was just a picture, it wasn't a video?
it was just a picture, and it went on all 6 screens immediately.
Oh my god.
And like I said, the party was just walking in, so I don't know that anyone saw it, but I ripped that cord as quickly as possible.
Right. Do you think that people should be doing their bachelor and bachelorette parties like way ahead of time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I agree.
It still shocks me that people will do it.
Yeah.
Like a couple days before.
Yeah.
You still see that, and we see that aspect of weddings as well. We see the bachelorette and bachelor party dinners. They'll come in for dinner.
Why do you think people do this?
I don't know.
What is the purpose?
A lot of
Why the
bachelor
old-
parties, you need like a week to recover.
I think we did ours like 2 months
2 months.
before
Yes.
we
2
even
months
got
I think is
married.
perfect.
So, have you seen any like really fun or creative ideas that people have done wedding wise?
We have, in fact, one of the funnest was actually a bunch of baby pictures blown up, and almost every single window had. You've seen the room.
Oh, wow.
The space is huge. There's windows everywhere,
Everywhere.
and they had baby pictures hung up all over the place. And it was almost comical to the point it was too much because you can't go too far
Sure.
with decorations.
Yeah,
in my
I know.
opinion.
Let's talk about some other mistakes that you've seen brides and grooms make in this planning process.
Oh, of course. Obviously, there's a very large discussion on who you invite, and I have a very
It's
very
tough.
big family.
Yeah.
My mother was one of 16.
Oh.
I know.
Goodness.
That's a big number. I have 69 first cousins on my mother's side.
What?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So my family alone was 219 people to invite. Just my family. So in that process, you're trying to keep the numbers where they are. I completely forgot to invite all of my high school buddies who weren't groomsmen.
Oh.
So the wedding day, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe this person and this person aren't showing up. And then Amy, my wife, tapped me and she goes, "You didn't invite them." I was like, oh my goodness. But it just shows you that there's so much going on that
Yeah.
you can lose sight of some of the things that are happening.
Something on the knot that was saying if you want to decide who and who not to invite to your wedding, they were doing this rule. Like if you've not seen them in 10 years, or if at your wedding you can't imagine yourself having more than a 1-minute conversation with them, don't invite them. It sounds cutthroat, but it's kind of,
It's kind of true.
yeah.
Right.
That was a big mistake on my end.
So don't forget to invite your friends and your high school buddies so that they're there for your special day.
Yes. Don't be like me.
Can we think of one more mistake that you've seen?
Absolutely. I think, and this is more on kind of a serious tone, is don't lose sight of what it's all about.
Yes.
You know, I'll tell you, one of the most memorable things that I can remember in doing rehearsal dinners, we had a rehearsal dinner scheduled, and a hurricane was coming. And a curfew was implemented that began at, I believe, 6 or 7 or
Yep.
somewhere along those lines. So the poor people called us and were like, "Are y'all still open?" I'm like, "We booked an event with you. I don't care. If they come and shut me down, they can come and shut me down." But
Right.
they were worried this curfew would extend into the next day and what was going
Right.
to happen. They weren't even sure if they were going to have a wedding the next day. And I went upstairs and I got a bottle of champagne out of our wine room. And I expected to go out there and talk to the bride and groom and for them to be just as distraught as everybody else. But the two were holding hands and had huge smiles on their faces because they didn't lose sight of the moment.
Right, right.
And I gave them that bottle of champagne and, you know, I said, "You drink this tomorrow night after the wedding." And they were very appreciative, but it wasn't even necessary. They were happy no matter what.
Right.
Because they were with each other and they were still going to celebrate their love together no matter what happens.
It's all for the love.
Okay, so the 3 things that we learned today, right? We're talking about rehearsal dinners. We're talking about the post-Sunday brunch. We're talking about making sure that you have enough time to book this. Don't wait till the last minute.
How far
I
in
know when
advance are people booking their rehearsal
Oh, man.
dinners?
18 months at sometimes.
we already love Superior Seafood beforehand, which is why
Which is
we
why we
decided
chose it,
to go
sure.
there. But what
And
was
John
really
Michael, of
great,
course.
what was really great is that we went there a couple of months beforehand to try the food out and kind of see what's on the menu and really pick it out. And John Michael was there, kind of making sure that we're happy with what we're doing, and that became a fun process in itself. Just the trying of the food, and so don't rob yourself of that opportunity. Go with time and have that moment to, connect with your parents that are coming on that trip with you, and take it from us who are married. Do that post Sunday brunch. I think that's a really nice way to wrap things up, especially if you're not going on your honeymoon the next day. I really felt like I wanted to continue seeing everybody.
And the night goes by.
Your
wedding day goes by so fast. We had 3.5 hours and it felt like an hour and a half. And we had a great time, but it really, if you can give yourself a few days before you leave to go on your honeymoon and spend the rest of that weekend with people you love, it's good.
I would like to thank you, John Michael, for
Thank you.
being on our show. We appreciate you being here and sharing all of this knowledge.
Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate the opportunity.
So yes.
We are on the corner of Napoleon and St. Charles at 4338 St. Charles Avenue. If you want to get any information online, go to www.superiorseafoodnola.com. You'll go on to private parties on the top right, and at the very bottom you can actually submit an inquiry that will get a direct response on availability of different rooms and if your budget fits. So www.superiorseafoodnola.com.